Welcome back to Chippo Fishing. Today we're landlocked, but for an important reason. Well, tomorrow I'm fishing. Yeah. So, a lot of people ask, Facebook comments, even comments on Chippo Fishing. Loop knot. How do you do it? What's the best way? Let me borrow a line. Thank you. Thank you, Richard Jean, the fishing machine. Let me borrow a line from him. This is not the correct, the best, the only way you can do it. This, in my own answer, this is the way that I'm evolving. Crappies constantly change with conditions. So, with conditions, you've got to change with them. Depth, cold, size, profile on your bait, colors, actions. It's just phenomenal if you were just to walk into the sport of crappie fishing and say, oh, it's this way because, I caught him over here one day. No, you gotta think outside the box, way outside the box. If you're stuck in that box, you're stuck in that box. Don't be stuck in that box. Okay, so today is on loop knots. Now, loop knots, here's a loop knot tied with I believe it's a 1/16th, but it's a smaller. If you see right here's your knot, and what it does is when it comes up over brush, it allows it to come back. Um, Y'all, some people gonna freak out. This is a glass, says Doers on it, and it's full of water. Sorry, this is for demonstration purposes only. Now, see how this is hanging. Some people will tie a fixed knot, which is all good, and that jig will sit horizontal, which is more lifelike. But on every hit or every snug of the brush, when you pull it up, you've got to crank it back up so that it sits horizontal, which is natural. Now with the loop knot, you go, but Chippo, that's hanging down. That's not natural. But look, put it in here, and it's floating a lot more natural. When you get out of the glass, it'll be more horizontal. So that's my reason for loop knots. Over the time period of time, I've constantly evolved. I'm trying to step up my game. I'm trying to improve my game. Um, and along the way, this is the way to do the loop knot. Find another way. Oh, this is a better way to use the loop knot. So that's what we're about here today. Currently, my best loop knot is this style. Okay, I'm going to oversize on, if this is 4-inch line, or 4-pound test, or 10-pound braid. Let's say it's 10-pound Odyssey braid. And this is your fancy custom jig head that you just ordered. I want to tie a loop knot. Okay, first thing you go, older your eyes, the harder it is. But don't laugh, because it's going to happen to you, young bucks. Okay, you take your line and thread it through your eye. And then you pull it up. You take your tag in, and you want to pull it about, let's start 8, 10 inches, 12 inches. You can cut it off. Line's pretty inexpensive. I'm going to take 2 fingers from the back, 2 fingers behind it. Let's come up here a long ways. 2 fingers behind it. I'm going to come here and make a loop. And then I'm going to come through, spread my fingers, and go 1, 2. Okay, this is where you can cheat. and it's good for you to cheat. You set that jig down, set it on your knee, set it on your tackle box. What that does, sometimes your loop can be too long, and you don't want it so that the hook will come up and actually hook into your loop. It can be as long as you want, but if it does that, so I'll set it down, take the weight off. I'll start with my tag in. This is your tag in first. This is your main line, tag in. I'll keep a little tension here, but I'll start pulling here. What does that do? Look. It's shortening, it's taking the knot down instead of taking it up or making it shrink between the two. It's actually taking the knot down. And then you snug it down, well, with monofilament. And then you pull the two, and there you have your loop knot. And you snug it up tight. You don't want to leave it loose. You want to snug it up tight. And you clip it close. If you notice, I went through twice. Depending on what you're trying to do, sometimes I'll put it through twice. Thinner, smaller line, I'll run it through the loop 3 times. Now, okay, I'm going to show you the other view, but before that, let's do a real life. Let's see if this is enough line. Okay, I don't know if you can see it. This is some high vis line and a jig head. We go through here. Okay, we come up. I'm going to put, okay, I'll try to keep my right through this way just because I'm right-handed, so my tag line's on the right. 2 fingers, bring it down about 3-4 inches. I'm going to make a loop with the 2 lines. Make a loop with the 2 lines, loop around, and put my thumb on it. Put my thumb on it. I'm going to spread my fingers and go through 1, 2, and 3. You can put the head through, or I like to go ahead and put the hook through. That way I know the danger is already past when the hook goes through. Now look at that line. That's going to be a big loop, too big. So let me help myself out here. I'm going to set it down. And I'm going to start pulling the tag in first. Keep a little tension on your main line, pull on your tag line. And look, the more I pull on that tag, the more it shrinks up. So, and then, as you see, I'm getting it closer and closer. I'm going to start and pull tension on both of them. Okay, it's almost snug. Now, I'm going to take it and snug down on it. Get it tight. Yeah, you don't want to crank down and actually burn the monofilament. But look how that's hanging. Yeah, that's maybe a 1/16 of an inch or something like that. And then you take your little scissors or braid scissors. And there's a difference between having it tight and cinching it down. You want to cinch it down, and then you want to cut it. I like cutting my tag in a little bit close to the knot. It really hadn't come back and bit me on a big fish, but I just feel that it's a little bit more visible, or less visible to the fish and won't impede the action. Okay, now that I've covered that, I'm going to show you real quickly the opposing views, doing just what I've done before, and that'd be the view of yourself facing the jig, not from the audience facing me. But again, this is my style. This is what I've come up with, and I'm probably going to change it, but before I change it, it's going to be something that is going to be insightful. Wow, That would improve my game. That would improve my presentation. You know, you've got to think out of the box. Don't be that guy inside that box looking for the window or the door, because that box has no window or door. Be outside that box. All right, I'm going to show you the opposite view. Thank you. Okay, again, we've got our loop knot. I don't know if you can see that or see how it's tied. This is on 10-pound braid. And so, yeah, I like using braid. It's a little stronger, less abrasive. So here we go. Okay, you take your line, you run it through, and you can go this way, you can go that way. I just like to feed it through. You know, sometimes I'll feed it through this way, sometimes that way. It doesn't matter. Okay, we're back again. This is perspective from you holding it and putting it on versus the other way. Basically, a loop knot is just 2 or 3 overhand knots. That's all it is. You feed it through. Go through twice. Make a loop. Double strand. Make a loop. Make it towards the outside of your fingers. And then you spread your fingers apart. Why the outside? Because you're going to pass the jig through here and come out here. So pass it, make it on the outside. Depending on what you've got, you may, and you keep your thumb here, you may want 2, you may want 3. 1, I'm going to do 2. Now, if it's thicker line, yeah, a lot of people just religiously do 3. Here's 2 ways that we can adjust this. Okay, now, if it's too close to your hook eye or jig eye right here, you can start by taking this and pulling it out this way. See how it lengthens your loop? Whereas if your loop's down here like this, you're just physically moving your knot up here, and then you can crank down. But ideally you want it somewhat close, but you don't want it any resistance in there. The second way is I will start with this is your main line, which goes to your rod and your reel. This is your tag line, it's the end. So I'll start with this and hold your main line firm, and then start pulling down here. And then if it's too tight, again, you can adjust by slipping it back out here. Get to your desired length and pull evenly. And then after it's snug, you want to crank down. You do not want to burn the monofilament and cause it to break. And then I will pull on my main line. And if I need to, I'll tug again. But once I tug them and secure them and then pull my main line, then I will take my scissors and I will go ahead and cut this close to my knot. This has not really come back to bite me and give me trouble that the knot's broken here, but you know, it's something that you may want to consider when you start doing these. Okay, thank you. Okay, again, let's do this in real life. We're gonna feed this through here on our jig. Feed it through. Okay. And come up. Your jig's hanging by your 2 lines, which makes your loop. You're going to do a 1.5 fingers or 2 fingers up. Put your 2 fingers, make a loop towards the outside. Spread them apart and go through. You can either go through with the jig head first, but I like going through with the hook first. That way I know the danger is already through. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so I've told you 2 different ways to adjust it. You can push your whole knot up, or you can start with your tag line and crank down. If it's perfect, you can just pull them both. And if you notice, you'll start twisting up a little figure 8 you see there. But you'll start figuring out when your knots are looking good and when they're not going to come out that well. Okay, so like this might be a little bit too close, just a little bit too close. So I'm going to pull it up. And again, I'm going to pull them together. Pull them evenly. Okay, that's looking pretty good. It's a little long, but it's okay. Now then, I'm going to cinch it down and get it snug. Then I'm going to take my main line and see, that's a good knot right there. Now then, to cut my tag end off, I'm going to hold my main line and I'm going to come over here and try to put some tension on my tag line. So I'll get my thumb, maybe get my thumb here and pull it up here, and then I'll try to cut it up close. You're gonna laugh, but you do this long enough, you're gonna be cutting your main line instead of your tag line. Now, so like that's a little bit too long, but I'm gonna live with that as a demo. And so there you go. So folks, again, thank you for joining me on Chippo Fishing. Appreciate you viewing and subscribing. That's my loop knot. It's not the best loop knot, but it's the best that I'm doing right now loop knot. So one more time, think outside the box. It's crappy, constantly changing conditions. Don't be that guy inside the box, looking for those windows, looking for those doors. There's no windows and doors in the box because it's a box and you're stuck in there. Be outside the box. Be outside the box. Yeah, there's some cut and dry answers that you'll use in crappie fishing, but most time you gotta dig deep. You gotta scratch. That's what's gonna improve you as an angler. And once again, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm trying to step up my game. I'm trying to prove my ability as being an angler, as a crappie fisherman, and maybe even as a teacher to help you guys understand and to help you teach and spread the joy of crappie fishing and the skill and the art and the knowledge of crappie fishing. Pass that down to your kids. Pass it to your people that are hungry for fishing. Man, fishing is just passion. So y'all get up off that couch. You know you can't catch them there. So this is my loop knot. Comments, thoughts, let me know. Questions, considerations on what I might could do better. So thanks again. Peace.